Friday the 13th, 2026 marks 40 years of the National Lacrosse League, and we're celebrating with a game between the Oshawa Firewolves and Philadelphia Wings here in Oshawa, Ontario at the Tribute Community Centre. Welcome inside. I'm Dan Malta alongside Scott Arnold. 40 years of the National Lacrosse League. So much rich history, so many things to be proud of for this league.
So many legends have been involved in this game over the years, and here's how it all started. 40 years ago today is when the league was incorporated by Chris Fritz and Russ Klein. You can see the original 4 teams there. First game wouldn't be played until January 10th, 1987, with New Jersey beating Philadelphia by a score of 11-8 in front of 6,000 fans in New Jersey. Fast forward to March 21st, 1987, and Baltimore would beat Washington 11-10 to win the inaugural championship that year.
And the guy who we're focusing on this evening here in Oshawa, it's Dalton Young from the Philadelphia Wings, just 25 years old, wasn't even alive when the league was founded.
Yeah, he only played a handful of games last year, and this season, he's a guy that the Wings are really high on. Talking to Ian Rubel, head coach, Tracy Kluski, the assistant coach, before the game, I said, who's a guy we should keep our eye on? And they both said, Dalton Young. He's coming off back-to-back hat tricks. He had 5 points against Georgia at the end of February in that game, and then 3 goals and an assist when these teams met in Philly on Sunday.
Over on the Oshawa Firewolves side, their newest addition, number 77, a guy who is 41 years old, and he was alive when the league was founded. Really exciting for Ryan Benesh to join this new squad.
Yeah, big age gap between the guy we just talked about, Dalton Young, who's in his 2nd season, Ryan Benesh in his 19th season in the National Lacrosse League. He's suited up with 11 different teams, 9 different franchises, playing in his 298th game in Oshawa tonight, and he's in the top 5 in a lot of statistical all-time categories, so we'll keep our eye on that because he may move up tonight with a couple points or goals.
588 career goals for Ryan Benesh. And Benesh is hoping to put a few past Nick Damude in between the pipes for the Philadelphia Wings as we take a peek inside the Tribute Community Center. The fans that are here, they're braving a pretty significant storm here in Durham region around Oshawa. Damude played just 12 minutes and 44 seconds last Sunday in the meeting against the Oshawa Firewolves. Goals against average 11.33, 805 save percentage. Doug Jamieson on the other side. He was really solid in that 13-12 win for the Firewolves on Sunday. That brings us to center floor. We are underway. Columbus takes the opening draw and flips it forward. The Wings on the hunt here, the first possession. Hutchison zips the ball back across towards the Oshawa Firewolves bench. Let's work back into the corner. The Wings setting things up in the offensive zone. The Firewolves collapsing, a chance in front, that's off the post. Doug Jamieson says thank you with his left hand and pats the post.
And a man we weren't sure was going to play, Eric Fennell, getting the first opportunity in tight.
Alex Simmons sends it to the corner. It's controlled by Oshawa now. Ty Kurtz and Alex Simmons, the dynamic duo up front for the Firewolves. Ethan Walker near side to Simmons. Things set in motion. 6 to shoot. He fires. That misses wide. Ball up in the air, and the shot clock will expire. Both teams with decent looks on their opening possessions. And last week in Philly, Oshawa got out early. Philly came back and came right down to the wire. Another chance for the Wings. There's a shot stopped by Jameson. Now kicked to the corner, a battle there. Jackson Nishimura flies up the floor and connects with Jackson Fridge. 2 players who Coach Glenn Clark for the Firewolves touts as 2 guys who might not get enough attention. Taggart Clark scores! The Firewolves open it early.
All starts in the back end, a nice scoop up in the corner. Nishimura doing a great job, moving it up to Fridge, who flips it to Clark, and there's the end result. Top corner, the opening goal, getting the Firewolves on the ball, on the board, and you can see Alex Simmons runs over right away, and he was pointing to the bench, recognizing that hard work from Nishimura.
Number 10 on the season for Taggart Clark. Not the first time he's opened the scoring here for the Firewolves. He scored a goal that marked something. He brought the Teddy Bears down earlier in the season. Rubish flips it ahead to Byrne. Mike Byrne bounces the ball back. Here's Alex Simmons. Down low to Kurtz. Kurtz steps up top. Bouncer shot handled by Damoud, and it's Ethan Walker trying to scoop it up. Damoud has it no problem though, and just dishes off to his left down the floor. Go the Wings. Fennell flips it back up top. Controlled by Philadelphia. They work it around the outside. There's a shot squeezed by Doug Jameson. Looks off Zach Masson. There's Nick Chikowski. Ty Kurtz. Back to Chikowski. Twister shot stopped by Damoud, and it's back the other way.
Good dish from Kurtz. He saw two guys coming at him. He knew Chikowski was open in that middle lane.
Ryan Wagner gets away from Will Johansson, sends it up top. Messenger back in the lineup for the Wings. Played into the corner. Philly looking for a shooting lane. They work it to the top of the slot, near side. Jackson, the former Firewolf, zips it into the corner. Fennell looking to shoot. Four to do it. They get one off, but it misses wide. Ball up in the air, an impact, stick on the floor. Loose ball to the corner.
Hard work again by the Firewolves to get that ball, but they can't get it across center. You have 8 seconds to cross that center line once you gain possession in your own zone.
Right back on the attack, the Wings. Jackson to the corner. Brought back up top. There's a shot. O'Neal just fired that one on net. Jameson denies. Back the other way. Nick Chikowski. Ty Kurtz looks up top. Ethan Walker down to the corner. And it's Dyson Williams skipping to the middle, looking to fire. A little bit of a change up there. Rebound. Taggart Clark tries to dunk it on top. Damoud says no way. Back the other direction. Mitch Armstrong works it back up to the top of the zone. Ball gets onto the floor for a moment. Fennell holds on with Byrne just harassing him all over. In tight, it's Nielsen. He works back to the corner, sends it up top. Stop from
Another nice look from Fennell. He used the screen from the defense, zipped it through, but Jameson somehow able to see that one.
Simmons looks up top, finds Kurtz. They work off one another. Full offensive unit on the floor. Dawson Theed mixing things up in the middle. Back to the wall, it's Simmons. Heading to the net, flips it back. Kurtz hesitates, scores, top corner. Ty Kurtz, 2-0 Oshawa.
Cue up the highlight reel, a spectacular goal. And Simmons will grab the ball as Benesh will pick up an assist on that as he dished it through. And then the hard work being done by Simmons. Fakes like he's going to the lane, flips it out to Kurtz, who makes a fantastic fake. Opens up that far corner, top shelf. And Benesh has his first point as a member of the Firewolves.
Goal number 99 on the career for Ty Kurtz. Scramble off the draw. The Wings step through with it. Patton flips near side. Corbeil. Near side. Kyle Jackson. Sarnia, Ontario native. Works it across the restraining line. Back into the corner. The Wings bring it up top. They hold. Brennan O'Neal steps in, hesitates, shoots. That bouncer misses wide of the net. All Oshawa early as they lead 2-0 here in the first quarter with 9:32 to play. Things looking good for Ty Kurtz.
TSN.
We'll now welcome Parisa Shabar into the broadcast with an update on Kyle Rubish. Parisa.
Dan, now we know giving back to the community is pretty big for this Firewolves squad, but Kyle Rubish in particular, a Whitby local, he mentioned it's super important to give back for the future of lacrosse. He does have a son that plays U7 Whitby Warriors lacrosse, and he said that I help coach my son lacrosse and also help coach with the Whitby Warriors and the rest of the kids on that team. You know, it's really big to give back. I help with the Firewolves camp, the clinics they put on, and it's really important to see how the community gets together. The fans love it. They get excited when they talk about Firewolves game. In a sense, it creates community, and I love to talk to the fans about how the Firewolves are doing. Dan, get back to you.
Thank you, Parisa. That shot of the Whitby Warriors there practicing from Children's Arena nearby. That's where all the teams that are in town practice before they get on the floor here at the Tribute Community Center. Dawson Theed, a Whitby native himself, brings it up the floor, dishes near side to Simmons, now to the corner, back to Theed, the big body fires, scores! Dawson Theed!
This is the start. The Firewolves wanted 3 unanswered goals in under 6 minutes to get this one going. Great ball movement once again, waiting for the Wings D to make a move, and then as soon as they slide out, you see Dawson Theed comes in, recognizes that opening. Damoud gets a piece of it, but not enough, as it slips by. 3-0 lead on Theed's 24th goal of the season.
That one just snuck in, and off the draw it will be Philly possession.
Kurtz Simmons picking up the assist on that goal.
Brennan O'Neill looking to get things going here. Former first overall pick sends it up top. Shot misses wide. Firewolves pull it out of the crease. It's brought up the near side boards, down the floor. Will Johansson, one of 2 British Columbia natives on the Firewolves roster. He and Jackson Fridge. Everybody else from Ontario. Taggart Clark sends it to the corner. It's Ethan Walker. Near side Simmons. Simmons decides to go for it. Damoud makes the stop. Beal grabs the rebound, fires it up the floor, and the Wings are on the fly. Patton back pedals up to the top of the zone, controlling the ball as the offensive lineup gets out there. Fennell dishes to the wall. Brought out to the corner. Fennell sporting that knee brace on his left leg and the white leggings. Shot through his screen from Kyle Jackson.
Yeah, Fennell was questionable. We were at shoot around this morning. They weren't sure if he was going to be in or out. We saw him with the trainer working on things, and here he is back in the lineup after missing Sunday's game between these 2 teams.
Clark sends it up top. It's Ethan Walker collecting and finding Dawson Theed in the corner. Stutter step through to Kurtz. Can't control the ball. And back the other way, it's the Wings. Looking near side to Hutchison. Through traffic off the post. Joel Coyle, in his 4th game of the season, picks it up. Taggart Clark fakes the pass, sends it to the boards where Dawson Theed then works it to the corner. Simmons speeds to the middle, shot, sneaks in! Seeing eye shot, Alex Simmons sends it home.
And with that assist, Ryan Benesh has 1,385 points over his career. He's just passed Colin Doyle and taken over 4th spot on the all-time points list. What a shot from Simmons. On the run, off balance. And you can see it just squeak by the line as Damoud tried to keep it out. Got some help from the captain, Chris Corbeil, as well. It had already gone past that line.
The Firewolves got out to a 5-0 lead.
And Deacon Knott will take over between the pipes.
Now on Sunday, a 5-0 lead, and only 12 minutes and 44 seconds were played in that game by Nick Damoud. So it's repeated itself here. Simmons down to the corner, and the Firewolves would love that number 5 here to repeat what they were able to do on Sunday. Walker dancing around in the offensive zone, winds, fires, that misses wide. It'll bounce back up the floor into the Wings bench. It's Brennan O'Neill. 5 goals and 2 assists on Sunday, making an impact for the Wings. Fennell works it to the corner. Brought to the net, a hard impact there. Another chance at the side of the net, but in the crease, it'll be Firewolves ball. Nishimura takes a peek to his right, to his left. Masson drops it off at the side of the net, sets a screen, and then it's up to Kurtz. Off the stick of Chakowski. Kurtz steps through, and Deacon Knott gets on top of the ball, squeezes it, and then floats it up the floor. Patton, with Masson on his back, elects to shoot. Jameson has no issues with that one and fires it right back up for Will Johansson. Quick across center, stutter step, dishes the ball, heads off for a change. Simmons in space, settles it down a little bit and works it over to Ethan Walker. Now into the corner. Dyson Williams finds Kurtz. Simmons, 10 seconds on the shot clock. Williams fires, stopped by Knott, rebound collected. Deacon Knott with another stop. A battle for the ball along the boards, a couple of heavy hits, and Oshawa comes up with it. Simmons laboring a little bit there after taking a chop. It's the ball to Taggart Clark. Oshawa spread around in the perimeter here in the offensive zone. They'll now move things to the middle. Clark fires it to the corner and heads to the net. Simmons looking for an outlet, finds one, it's Ethan Walker. Walker up top to Simmons. Drag, shot, stopped. Rebound still loose at the top of the crease. Now it floats into the crease where Deacon Knott will work the ball to the corner.
You saw how quickly Deacon Knott reacted, looking up floor, trying for that long outlet pass if it was there.
Messenger finds Fennell. Philly working it on the outside. Oshawa closing things off. In the defensive zone, there's a shot from range. Jackson collects the rebound, but he's pressed up against the boards. Joel Coyle. It's been all Oshawa still here in the first quarter, up 4-0 over the Wings. The NLL's March to May is brought to you by XTX Lacrosse and Nike Lacrosse, the official equipment providers of the National Lacrosse League. And by TFL Sports. Collect the stars of the NLL with officially licensed trading cards and sticker albums. And by StubHub, your home for tickets to the speed and intensity of the NLL. Deacon Knott now in the net for the Philadelphia Wings. The Peterborough, Ontario native played the majority of the game on Sunday after Nick Damoud was pulled in the first quarter. History repeats itself here in Oshawa. Pretty good numbers. Ian Rubel looking on from the bench. Firewolves back on the attack. Simmons to Ethan Walker. Walker with a quick shot looking short side. That one was squeezed, sent back the other way. Patton with speed. Dawson Theed back on defense. He's going to stay out there. Sort of stranded at this point where the ball is on the floor. Corbeil drops it off. The offensive unit getting out there. Good stick from Theed. Swats the ball away. And an athletic play there, but Doug Jamieson gets across to make the stop. Kaschuk to Taggart Clark, who opened the scoring this evening. Brought up top by Dyson Williams. Cross-checking penalty on the floor going against Oshawa. It's Taggart Clark heading to the box.
So we'll see the first power play of the game. Good opportunity for the Wings to stop this 4-goal run. We'll send it down to the floor for the official call. Legal cross-check. The call. And the Wings with the ball. 3:03 remaining as they look to get some momentum on their side before the end of this first quarter.
Best opportunity of the game so far for the Wings. Brennan O'Neill operating at the top of the house. Gets it right back, steps in, dishes, flipped in behind the net. Jamieson scoots across the crease, now addresses the shooter. That's blocked by Jackson Nishimura. Fennell up top, O'Neill. Back to Fennell, flips it through. Good stick from Nishimura all over the place on the penalty kill. Now attacks the ball. Picked up by the Wings. They've got 30 to work with on the shot clock. Fennell directing traffic from the elbow. He switches off and heads down low. It's now O'Neill working it off. It's behind the net. Jackson, O'Neill. That shot blocked. Nishimura again getting out there in front of the ball. Now a chance shorthanded, but Tchaikovsky just holds on to it. He had Dyson Williams heading to the crease. Midway through the penalty kill for Oshawa. Kurtz from the corner. Simmons, quick shot. That one nearly caught Deacon Knott off guard. Numbers up the floor for the Wings. Hutchison chooses to settle things down. 40 seconds to work with on the power play now. It's Kyle Jackson. Played 3 games with the Firewolves this year before being released. Fennell darts through after dishing the ball. O'Neill looking to fire one. Jamieson gets across the crease, makes the save, and Masson's just gonna hustle this one up the floor before being swarmed. Oshawa gets it up the floor and kills this one off successfully. Jackson Fridge dishing the ball off for Ryan Benesh. Here's Ty Kurtz. Kurtz shot around a screen. That one nearly got through. Taggart Clark steals it. Kurtz taking direction directly from Glenn Clark at the bench. He just launched one. Patton takes center floor, then flips it off. It's Fennell. Eric Fennell up top for Kyle Jackson. They play off one another. through the seam. Brought up top. Young fires. Doug Jamieson makes the save. And Dalton Young, a guy who the Wings are really counting on after the trade deadline, Scott.
Yes, and Coach Clark's going to use his timeout and try to draw something up. Glenn Clark coaching in his 200th career National Lacrosse League game, looking for his 90th win tonight. We talked to him earlier in the week, and you mentioned it, Dan, some of the unsung heroes that we asked about that maybe don't get the hype. He mentioned Byrne, Nishimura, and Fridge, saying that Byrne has been punching above his weight class this year, especially in the face-off circle. He's been happy with them in the dot. Fridge, great speed, great strength, loves his matchups on the back end, and he says Nishimura just battles hard. As we saw in that opening goal, he was the reason getting that loose ball. And then on the other side, Ian Rubel, who's hoping his team can have a better second quarter and prevent a fifth goal here late in the first quarter. There's Deacon Knott, led the Burlington Blaze to the Minto Cup, which is the Canadian Junior A Lacrosse Championship.
8 seconds on the clock. Simmons with it. Works it back across. Ethan Walker darts through. Kurt's quick stick, that's stopped. Fired at the empty net, but that'll do it for the opening quarter. The Oshawa Firewolves up 4-0 over the Philadelphia Wings. On Sunday, they were up 5-0 after the opening quarter. I hope to turn this one into a win as well, this time on home floor. A heavy connection between the Philadelphia Wings and a city in Ontario, Scott.
St. Catharines, which is not too far away, just an hour and 45 minutes from Oshawa. And on this Philadelphia Wings team, there is 8 players. They added a 9th one with Lucas Nielsen at the trade deadline. Rubel, their head coach, he's also has St. Catharines ties. Their GM, Paul Day, St. Catharines ties. We talked to Ian Rubel and said, is this on purpose? And he said, well, it's guys we know, so it makes sense that they're guys that we're high on.
Absolutely, absolutely, and they're excited about Lucas Nielsen. We know that as well, former 7th overall pick. BCJALL MVP in 2024 with the new Westminster Salmon Bellies. That's Junior A Lacrosse out in BC. Right up top, Feed, quick shot, that's stopped. Dawson Feed, a dual sport athlete. Pretty impressive hockey numbers if you look him up on Hockey DB. Here's Feed, Bringing it up top, dishes to Ty Kurtz, down to the corner, Simmons. Up for Williams, he fires, that's stopped. Knott kicks the rebound forward, and the Wings will dart across center floor. Young fires it across the zone, gets it right back from Fennell. Dalton Young sends it back to the wall. Brennan O'Neill now, up for Nielsen. His shot misses well wide. Jackson Fridge got his stick in there and disrupted the release. Another shot stopped by Jamison. He looks ahead for Jackson Fridge, the third-round pick of the Firewolves, the 2025 draft. Benesh, the elder statesman on the Firewolves. He's going to send one on net. That's stopped by Knott. Davis Allen dishes the ball, heads off the floor. LeClaire in front, quick stick, that misses wide. There's Fennell on the doorstep, and Coyle up for Will Johansson. Johansson walking the line, connects, flip pass over the shoulder from Kurtz. Look for the return from Simmons. Wasn't there. Simmons just settles things down and sees what develops here. Simmons will start the motor. Looking for Dawson, three, that bounced all the way into the corner. It's Williams looking through, Simmons with three to shoot. Pass knocked away, and it's into the hands of the Wings. Hutchison brings it up the floor.
Philly doing a good job tightening up at top to eliminate any of those shots on the run that were working for the Firewolves in that opening quarter.
Quick shot, Jamison makes the stop, he's got the rebound as well. After the game on Sunday, Glenn Clark in the dressing room praising Doug Jamison and his performance.
Jamison, the rock of this team. You ask anyone on the Firewolves, and they will hype him up as soon as you mention Doug Jamison's name. They play with a lot of confidence in front of him.
Nielsen looking to make his mark for his new squad. Doug Jamison says not this time. Rebound to the corner. Longboat with the shot, rebound collected. There it is, Nielsen gets the Wings on the board. An athletic play there for the 21-year-old.
And they'll grab that ball for him. Fennell has it in his stick as Nielsen, who just came over from a trade, gets his first goal as a member of the Wings. Shot from Longboat, and then you see Nielsen just sneaking in, doing a great job, grabs the rebound, and then dives through the crease. Incredible play to finish that off.
Nielsen coming over in the trade for Joe Reziteritz. Went back to Buffalo.
Buffalo Joe, yes. We're going to talk about the trades in the halftime, break down some of the ones involving this team specifically. And I got to shout out the guys from the Loose Mesh pod. They did a great job. Uncle Fripp, Ryan McMichael, and Dawson Nielsen. They were live all day, breaking it down, and I know they got a big following. There were over 2,000 people viewing them at one time and doing something that hasn't been done before. But we'll talk about specific trades involving these two teams at halftime.
That opened up some holes on offense for the Wings. Some players are going to have to find their way into those roles. Dalton Young, one of those guys. Up the floor, Nishimura in transition, dishes it off. Kurtz with the shot, that misses wide. What? Alex Simmons around the world, bounces it home.
Alex Simmons, who already has a goal and 2 assists in this game, picks up his 4th point with that one, and you can see the smiles. And quick transition, you see the Wings, they're all going for a line change. And Oshawa just decides, let's transition quickly up the floor. Simmons coming out of the gate, grabs the ball at the side of the crease. And around the world, one-timer picking it up off the boards. 32 on the season for Simmons.
John Grant Sr. is in the building with some Philadelphia Wings legends. There's a chance off the draw. You know, he absolutely loved that one. Jackson Fridge flips it up top. Taggart Clark plays the ball in the corner. Dyson Williams elevating to try and collect that ball. He's bodied away from it. Ball on the floor, scooped up by the Wings. William Patton steps around Zach Masson and curls back up to the top of the zone before flipping it to the wall. It's Longboat. To the corner now. Philadelphia. Stutter step, Brennan O'Neill. Listed at 250 pounds is Brennan O'Neill as he finds Travis Longboat. Trying to get away from Kaschuk, but solid job from Kaschuk to eliminate that 30-second shot clock. Firewolves up 5-1 here. Alex Simmons, one of the better goals we'll see this season. There's one as well from Nielsen. There's the score, 5-1 Oshawa.
The march to May is heating up. Whether you're at home or out on the town, it all starts here.
No, he didn't!
Warriors. Bandits.
Oh, what a move!
The NLL returns to TSN in Week 19.
Well, if you weren't aware by now, Taggart Clark is Coach Glenn Clark's son. So I asked Glenn Clark earlier this week what the dynamic has been being Taggart's coach, and he said on the floor, he is not my son. But then I asked Taggart what the dynamic has been, you know, having his dad be the coach, and he said, you know, as an adult, you spend less time with your dad. So it's been really cool spending time with him on weekends and going on the road with him and seeing places like Vegas. But obviously, when the game starts, he is not my dad. Sounds like they have like a similar mindset. Gentlemen, what do you think?
Yeah, perfect. And just as Taggart Clark brings it up the floor, Dawson Theed. Benesh looking for the pass there from the corner from Alex Simmons, but it's broken up. Yeah, it has to be a pretty cool experience for both Taggart and Glenn. Taggart coming over in a trade earlier in the season from Ottawa. Kyle Jackson plays it to the corner. Brought back up top, near side Leclerc. To the corner, just nothing really developing here so far for Philadelphia on offense. Scott, what are the Firewolves doing to keep them to the outside?
They're forcing the ball pretty well. They're staying pretty tight on their men, not allowing any lanes, and just playing an aggressive defense. Wings can't break through.
Jackson Fridge bringing it up the floor, part of that aggressive defensive approach. Benesh finding Williams. Benesh gets it across. Ty Kurtz couldn't quite settle it down. Hutchison up the floor now. Comes to a stop and then dishes it off. Jackson directs traffic. Finds Longboat. Longboat looking for something to develop. Sends it far side. Shot from range, and Doug Jameson stops that one off the stick of Brennan O'Neill. Benesh, hard pass through the seam, finds Simmons. Simmons in space up top, takes a peek over to the bench, and dishes. Kurtz to Williams. Simmons with the shot. Up in the air, it's Alex Simmons. Looks over to Dyson Williams. Williams in his second season in the NLL, coming off a Rookie of the Year campaign. Clark from up top sends it to the corner. Simmons, a guy who his head coach recognizes is an anomaly in the game. There's Taggart. Clark scores! The Firewolves are up 5 on the second of the game from Taggart Clark.
And again, the Firewolves moving that ball around as we see some kids with the tarps off in the crowd. They're loving this 5-goal lead. Simmons circles through. You know he can shoot from anywhere. We saw him shoot from the run off balance earlier, and that's what he had the Wings guessing he might do again, and dishes it over to the far side and then back into Clark through the middle. Second of the game, and it's a nice cushion, but no lead is safe in this league, as we know.
Oh, absolutely not. We've seen, every team has seen goals or leads like this evaporate.
Dyson Williams and Ethan Walker picking up the assists on that goal.
LeClaire plays it to the corner. Firewolves still keeping the Wings to the outside. Dalton Young makes a move through. Jameson makes the stop. Keeps that ball from crossing the line as McDonald bumped into him. Joel Coyle. 4th game of the season and essentially an elder rookie in this league. There's another chance for Oshawa, heading hard to the net. Deacon makes the save. Coyle took 5 years off from the game. Turns 31 tomorrow. Happy early birthday, I guess. Fennell up for Longboat. Nielsen hooks across, connects on the pass. It's O'Neill slipping away from Masson, finds Longboat. Jameson makes the stop and holds on. No rebound there. Jackson Fridge. Up for Ty Kurtz. Simmons sends it up to the top of the zone. Coming off the wall, Simmons. Up for Williams. Shoots around traffic. That's off the post. But still Wings ball.
There's that Firewolf touch the side of the crease there at the loose ball.
Dalton Young fires it across the zone. Things just calm in the defensive zone so far for Oshawa. There's an easy interception as well for the 4-time NLL Defender of the Year, Kyle Rubish. And a whistle on the floor.
Yeah, we'll go down to the floor. Mark Ardonio's got something.
Swap penalty, 2 minutes, illegal substitution.
They're saying Oshawa sent a man out of the gate a little too early. And the Wings will go back to work on the power play. 0 for 1. Oshawa did a great job killing off the first penalty.
Joel Coyle, the in-home, heads to the penalty box. Kyle Jackson gets things started on the power play from the top of the house. Jackson finds LeClaire, opening things up top. Back to LeClaire, that's off the crossbar, loose at the side of the net. Kyle Rubish is able to collect the ball and find Jackson Nishimura.
That was a close one for the Wings. Jameson didn't even see it, didn't move, went right off the iron over his shoulder.
Simmons content to slow things down along the boards, then looks up top for Ryan Benesh, now Dawson Feed. Feed flips one through, connects on a pass, a chance in front, shorthanded for Ty Kurtz. Knott makes the stop.
A quick stick again from Knott as he reached out of his crease to scoop that back through and get it out of harm's way to make sure no Firewolves scooped up that ball.
It's Jackson again. 17 points through his 4 games with Philly. Heading into tonight's action, there's a shot from O'Neill, missing wide. Flipped up the floor, Nishimura has a man streaking, it's Clark! Looking for the hat trick, it's off the crossbar and out of play. Taggart Clark having a great game. 2 goals. The Firewolves are up 6-1 over the Wings. There are 3 first overall picks in tonight's game, but 2 of them have a little bit of a different connection. Former teammates at Duke, Brennan O'Neill, first overall in 2024, and then Dyson Williams, first overall in 2023 and the 2025 NLL Rookie of the Year. In that year, Brennan O'Neill was the runner-up for that award, and the 2 guys are both leading their draft classes in points. Dyson Williams with 104 heading into tonight's action, and heading into tonight as well, Brennan O'Neill had 111. He's coming off that big game on Sunday, the loss for the Wings against the Firewolves, 5 goals and 2 assists. Dyson Williams, pretty good as well, had 3 goals and 2 assists on Sunday. His 7th career hat trick.
They've met each other 3 times, and in the head-to-head, Dyson Williams teams are 3-0 against Brennan O'Neill.
All right. It's Walker with the shot, he scores! 7-1 Oshawa.
A short-handed marker for the Firewolves, and the fans love it here at the TCC. Ethan Walker, and again, it's Oshawa just being patient, using the entire floor, and then Simmons with another assist. Walker with the finish, recognizes it. You see this all the time when somebody scores, they immediately point to whoever did the hard work, whoever dished them the ball. Recognizing the efforts of their teammates. Talked to Ethan Walker earlier in this week, and I asked him who are some of the guys who influenced him over his career, whether it's teammates, coaches, because he's from Peterborough, which is a lacrosse hotbed. Camp instructors, I said, who stands out for you? He said, my parents. And he credits them for where he's at today. Out of all those lacrosse legends that he could name from Peterborough, goes to his parents.
Yeah, really nice from Ethan Walker. Like anybody who talks about Walker will recognize his professionalism. There's Dawson Feed trying to bully his way to the net with 3 wings draped on his back. Longboat looking for something here before the end of the half. Trying to get some momentum for the Philadelphia Wings. Fennell back up top for Leclerc. A little bit more pace here and urgency from the Wings in the offensive zone. It's O'Neill in the corner. Check closely. Brought up top, doubled, dish to Fennell. That bouncer misses wide. Fennell looking like he's not getting everything behind those shots maybe.
They might still be favoring that leg, and again, we mentioned at shoot around this morning, it was uncertain whether he'd be in or not, but a guy like Fennell, he's gonna push to get in the lineup any chance he can.
Simmons coming off the wall. Taggart Clark zips through in behind the net. Here's Dyson Williams. Finds Walker in the corner, looking for another. The heat check misses, stopped by Knott. Pace, quick up the floor, finds Fennell, looking for Columbus. Stick gets in the lane. A battle along the boards. Rubish knocks the ball down to the floor, takes his man down. They keep battling. Nielsen can't grab it. It's Will Johansson with the loose ball heading up the floor. Kaschuk finds Simmons. Inside 2 to play in the half. Simmons stops on a dime and fires. That misses high and wide, bounces up to center. Corbeil directs traffic, sends guys off for a change, and then connects with Young. Young brings it up top, finds LeClaire. There's a shot that is deflected out of play by Doug Jamieson. Brought out of the corner. Hard challenge. Jackson Fridge coming out on top of Longboat. They're still connected in front. Fridge won't let him go anywhere. Here's Young now. Flipping it through without a stick, however, was Bo Columbus.
And a holding the stick call. Because of that, stick got torn out of LeClaire's hands. And another power play coming up. We saw Oshawa score shorthanded last time around.
Yes, pardon me, LeClaire. The holding call coming down from the floor.
Josh Hiltz makes the call, holding the stick. 2 minutes up on the board. Nishimura in the box. And you'll see it on the left side. Just grabs it, throws it out. LeClaire puts his hands up immediately. He would have had that ball.
Sam LeClaire from the elbow. Sends it up top. Brendan O'Neill. Down low to Fennell now. O'Neill. LeClaire. Sends it through. Good stick from Rubish as he breaks up that pass. Now finds the ball on the floor. He's going to battle to escape the zone. Can't get over the crease. Coming back onto the ball now, Sam LeClaire. Held to just 1 assist on Sunday was LeClaire. O'Neill, athletic reception of the pass. Looks to shoot, sends it to the corner instead. Back up top, Brendan O'Neill to LeClaire. That shot misses wide. On the rebound, there's a quick stick off the side of the net. Jamieson coming across and closing off any opportunity. And we'll see if Jamieson heads to the bench here as the quarter is about to expire. Not worried about the shot clock or the Firewolves. Jamieson's going to stay. 4 seconds. Theed takes a peek at the clock. And a penalty coming up. A pair are going to go, it looks like.
1.5 seconds left to go. As we are so close to halftime. And it'll be Kurtz heading off to the box.
Simmons and Wagner, I think.
Oh, Kurtz is talking to the ref, trying to plead his case to get his teammate back on the floor.
Philadelphia, number 94, 2-minute minor slashing. Oshawa, number 6, minor penalty, roughing. 4-on-4.
So Jamieson will be on the bench. 1.5 seconds. You pretty much have to make a perfect pass and a one-timer or a Hail Mary shot from long distance to make this work.
We just saw a look at what happened at the side of the crease. It'll be Ty Kurtz getting things started from center floor. And as you just mentioned, Scott, the odds of this one converting, very minimal, but the best defensive half the Oshawa Firewolves have had so far this season. Maybe the best half they've had so far this season, up 7-1, heading into the break. Clem Durazio looking on from the bench. And things are heating up a little bit now. Everyone's grabbing a dance partner and holding on. Dawson Feed is on top of a Wings player. He'll just let him stand up.
Dawson Feed with the takedown and then just had his man pinned right underneath. Still a few words being exchanged as Feed circling around the crowd.
Dawson Feed letting everybody know Ian Rubel Looking on from the bench. There was a little bit of heat at the end of the game on Sunday. And Pat Kaschuk laid a hit on Brennan O'Neill.
Get one, Philadelphia number 55, 2 each, roughing, 5-on-4. 2 each.
And nothing even came off the clock, so still 1.5 as Glenn Clark's looking at the replay that was just up on the big screen in-house. Dawson Feed, a big boy. That's who they're showing on the big screen at the moment. That takedown on Isaiah Davis-Allen.
Feed into the box there.
7 guys combined in the penalty box. 4 on the Oshawa side, 3 on the Philly side. It's the 40th anniversary of the National Lacrosse League, and they wanted to go old school, pack the boxes.
And coming up on the game halftime, first half analysis, we'll take a peek around the National Lacrosse League. It's an exciting weekend of action. There are a couple of pretty good games going on tonight outside of this one, and an NLL trade deadline recap. And with 1.5 seconds, as we expected, not much gonna happen there, but 7-1 the score as the Firewolves are dominating the Wings on home floor. We'll be back to break things down in the half. First, we've got Parisa Shabar standing by. It's gonna be Ryan Benesh.
And Ryan Benesh, who earlier in this game tied Colin Doyle for 4th all-time and then passed him for the 4th most points in National Lacrosse League history. And with those 2 assists, puts him at 797 assists, taking over sole possession of 7th all-time in the assist lead, just 3 shy of 800 career assists.
Now join Parisa and Ryan.
Ryan, you just beat Colin Doyle in 4th in all-time points in NL history. What does that mean to you?
I mean, it's pretty special, but, you know, I always say, you know, credit goes to teammates and coaches. You know, without those guys, I wouldn't be in the position that I'm in, and, you know, I just want to personally thank, you know, Coach Clark for bringing me in and letting me get a chance to get that milestone.
Now, earlier, Coach Clark mentioned that you're the veteran presence that this team wanted. What value do you bring to this team after 19 seasons in the NL?
You know, just trying to pass on what I've learned, you know. Just little things that, you know, the young guys can take with them and, you know, develop as their careers develop, and, you know, just kind of just do my job. Put the ball in the net, pass the ball, move my feet, set some picks, and try to contribute in any way I can.
In the final stretch of the season, what do you hope to contribute every game moving forward?
Just getting better and better, right? Obviously, guys are still playing for, you know, jobs next year. So, you know, just every game, try to get a little bit better, you know, get more cohesive on offense, more cohesive on defense, and, you know, build towards the future.
Ryan, thank you for this.
Thank you.
All right, gentlemen, back to you.
Parisa, thank you, Ryan. Ryan Benesh, a guy who's been in so many locker rooms. He knows how to mesh in quickly. Doug Jamieson doing great. The Firewolves offense doing great. We'll be back. You're watching the NLL on TSN Plus, NLL Plus. Welcome back to the Tribute Community Center in Oshawa, Ontario. The Oshawa Firewolves up 7-1 at the half over the Philadelphia Wings. Dan Malta alongside Scott Arnold. Parisa Shobar joining us from floor level. Quick start for the Firewolves. Taggart Clark getting things started, Scott.
This was the start the Firewolves wanted, but we said during that first half in the game of lacrosse, you never know what can happen, but a good start as Clark grabs one just a minute 32 into the quarter, and then the Firewolves would keep going. Ty Kurtz would get on the board just 5 minutes in, and then Dawson Theed only 58 seconds after that, and then Alex Simmons would complete the 4-goal run.
Yeah, and they just got to 5-goal run on Sunday. Almost repeat that here today, Scott. A couple of squeakers there, but then Daymud gets pulled. At the other end, Doug Jamieson, he's having an excellent game so far, even though the Philadelphia Wings, they've had their chances.
He's playing great. There's a couple times where Philly has beat him twice, where it's hit the crossbar and saved Doug Jamieson. But when you're playing good, you get some help from your friends. And as a goaltender, your friends are the post and the crossbar. But here's some opportunities, and you see how tight the defense is. That's one of the only open lanes that they allowed. But other than that, the Oshawa defense is all over the Wings, preventing them from getting through. And you can see Coach Ian Rubel, he'll be looking to regroup in the dressing room.
And something from Doug Jamieson, he's very polite to those goalposts, always giving them a pat and saying thank you. But the shots on goal, not much discrepancy there. The power plays, Philadelphia with 2, and Oshawa hasn't had one yet. Things look pretty even outside of the face-offs here.
All the way down, pretty even until you get to that 7-1 score.
That is a factor. We'll be right back with more coverage here from Oshawa, the Wings, and the Firewolves on NLL Plus, TSN Plus, and ESPN Plus. a week away from spring. The snow is falling outside, but there's a great atmosphere here at the Tribute Community Center. There's their mascot, Alfie, celebrating his birthday. Dan Malta alongside Scott Arnold here at the TCC. 7-1 Oshawa Firewolves lead over the Philadelphia Wings, Scott. And so far it's been all Firewolves in this one, but we're going to take a peek around the National Lacrosse League. Not the only game tonight. There's a 6:30 start between the Toronto Rock and the Halifax Thunderbirds. That's tied up at 7s in the third quarter. Two teams that are in that playoff hunt right now, and they're trying to get things going here. And then just a really exciting game between Colorado and Buffalo. Joe Rezateritz getting back to Buffalo. They're at 6-6, up 7-3 over Colorado. The Mammoth have been so impressive so far this season. Coming up tomorrow, another jam-packed day, and then you got that Sunday treat between Rochester and Las Vegas. Which one are you looking forward to the most?
Packed weekend of lacrosse. I'm going to switch around and check them all out, but looking forward to the second half here, Dan. That's what I'm looking forward to most.
Yeah, hey, coming into this week's action, it was the trade deadline of the National Lacrosse League. The Firewolves didn't do too much. They moved Zach Young off for a second-round draft pick. Asset management from coach and GM Glenn Clark, but on the other side of things, the Philadelphia Wings getting much younger, a 36-year-old out and two 32-year-olds out from the equation for the Wings as they get significantly younger.
Yeah, three big guns, Phil Caputo, Blaze Reardon, Joe Rezateritz all out. Lucas Nielsen, who had a decent first half, he had that lone goal for the Wings to get them on the board. Travis Longboat coming in as well, and then a few draft picks coming back Philly's way. And as you mentioned, Zach Young heading out, and one of the big trades, well, not a trade, but an acquisition happened after the trade deadline. Buffalo Bandits, they had to make some room, so they released Ryan Benesh, and Glenn Clark, coach and GM of the Firewolves, called up Ryan Benesh and brought him here. They didn't have to give up any assets for him, a freebie.
And the ages there, it's Rezateritz at 36, Reardon at 32, Caputo at 32 as well, and Travis Longo, the former Albany Firewolf. We'll be right back with the second half between the Firewolves and the Wings.
Firewolf fans, assemble! It's Marvel's Superhero Night, Saturday, March 28th at 7 p.m. when the Oshawa Firewolves go head-to-head with the Rochester Nighthawks. Come dressed as your favorite Marvel Comics superhero. Arrive early and get your hands on an exclusive Firewolves Marvel comic book. Be there for a super-powered lacrosse showdown. March 28th, 7 p.m. Get your tickets now at OshawaFirewolves.com. Lacrosse lives here.
We are all set for the second half between the Philadelphia Wings and Oshawa Firewolves. Ian Rubel looking on from the Wings bench, displeased with what he's seen so far. Glenn Clark has to be feeling a little bit different. Certainly the best situation that the Oshawa Firewolves have been in to start a half so far this season. A chance here to register back-to-back wins as well. Dan Malta and Scott Arnold up in the broadcast booth. Parisa Shabar joining us floor side. There's a shot stopped by Doug Jamieson as Kyle Jackson looks to get some revenge on his former team. Now Brennan O'Neill dishes, gets it right back. A brief power play here to start the half for the Wings. Got 18 seconds remaining. O'Neill now dishes to the elbow. It's LeClaire back up top. O'Neill holds, fires, scores. The Wings kick off the second half on a high note. Within 5 now.
Well, it was only a matter of time before the Wings struck on the power play, and you figured it would likely be O'Neill at some point as well. Look at all that space. You can see the Firewolves trying to force it a little bit to get the Wings to make a mistake, and then O'Neill, through a couple defenders at the top, finds a little opening, puts everything behind that. A huge body with a cannon of a shot.
29th of the season for Brennan O'Neill. 32nd career game. Continues to build that lead and points at the top of his draft class. Came into tonight with 111. Joel Coyle sent down to the floor. It's Ethan Walker firing it to the corner. Ty Kurtz gets away from a check, heads to the net. Kurtz elevates, shoots, and that's stopped, collected, and brought back the other way by Philadelphia. Kyle Jackson, pass through the seam, gets it back, fires. Jamieson makes the stop. Rebound scooped up by Nick Chikowski. Will Johansson slams on the brakes, works to the corner. Up to the top of the zone, Ty Kurtz. As a man open up top, finds him. It's Ethan Walker with the shot. Toe save, loose ball, and picked out of the air by Knott. Back up the floor, Mitch Armstrong kicks it back in the crease. That one's not going to count. As LeClaire went through. Nishimura fires it to the corner. It's Taggart Clark. Flipping the ball back towards the bench, Benesh. Finds Kurtz, Kurtz spins off a defender, fires it up top. Fridge with the shot. That bounces out of play. Jackson Fridge being rewarded with the shift on offense here. Here's Clark with the shot. That bounces wide and comes back out to center. It's retrieved by Ty Kurtz. Oshawa controlling things in the offensive zone. 8 to shoot. Fridge with another shot. Now he's back on D. Intercepts the ball and brings it right back the other way. Jackson Fridge doing it all. And he'll stay out there as well. Kurtz sends it across the seam. Here's Ethan Walker. He and Benesh switch off. Once more, Walker holds, finds Benesh in space, hesitates, scores! Ryan Benesh with his first as an Oshawa Firewolf. Now 11 away from 600 on the career.
You can see the smile on Benesh's face. He had a couple helpers in the opening half. Circles through was Walker, and then the backhand pass. And a big celly from Ryan Benesh. What a dish, though, over the shoulder. And then the fake from Benesh. Gets the D to bite, creates some space, fires it home.
Wings with the ball off the draw. Working in the offensive zone. Byrne gets a lick in the corner. Eric Fennell sends it up to the top of the zone. Kyle Jackson was there. Plays it to the corner. There's a shot. Jamieson with the stop. Rubish pulls it out of the crease and finds Will Johansson. Simmons sends Johansson into the zone. Takes the ball off the floor. Looks for Kurtz. It's fired to the corner. Dyson Williams. Simmons speeds in, backpedals out, works to the middle. Shot stopped by Deacon Knott. Quick up the floor, as he's been doing all game. Finds Patton. Patton in transition. Toe save, Doug Jamieson. And that bounces out of play.
That's the advantage you get with Deacon Knott. He can grab the ball quick, move it down floor even faster.
Jackson fires it to the wall. Brennan O'Neill gets it across the zone. There's LeClaire with the shot. Jamieson casually makes that stop. He's looking dialed in today. Taggart Clark with it now. Up top for Dawson Thie. Clark up top for Walker. It's Benesh again. Nifty pass, just missed the mark. A race back the other way. It's Taggart Clark getting right back onto it. Good effort. The bench loves that for the Firewolves. And right as the shot clock expires, Benesh lofts it towards the net.
They had to be quick. They were celebrating that great play from Clark to get the ball back, and then you heard his dad, head coach Glenn Clark, get it on net. He knew time was running out on that shot clock.
Fennell up top. It's Jackson stepping in with pace. He works it to the boards. Brought back up top by the wings. Fennell. Shot misses short side wide. Bounces back up to the top of the zone. 5 on the clock. That bounces wide of the net as well. Loose to the boards. And Jamieson will collect the ball as the shot clock expires. It continues to be all Firewolves as they lead 8-2 here in the third quarter.
This is the moment you waited all week for. The march to May is heating up. Whether you're at home or out on the town, it all starts here.
No, he didn't!
Warriors. Bandits.
Oh, what a move!
The NLL returns to TSN in Week 19.
Welcome back inside the Tribute Community Center. 8-2 the score as the Oshawa Firewolves lead the Philadelphia Wings. And with the Wings in the building, this being the 40th anniversary of the National Lacrosse League, some of the original Philadelphia Wings are in the house as well.
Lots of lacrosse legends. They were all on the floor for the opening face-off to get things started. And you've got guys like Pete Guerin, Tim Barry, Carm Collins, Joey Hiltz, Johnny Shooter Davis, and then the man who is credited with inventing the backhand, Bobby Allen, and the man credited with perfecting the backhand, John Grant Sr.
Absolutely, and we saw Alex Simmons, who has the ball right now, put that on full display in the first half. Firewolves back on the hunt. Simmons plays it to the corner, then darts towards the net. Opening space for Kurtz with the shot. That misses wide and bounces up the floor. It's Davis Allen sending it across the seam. Hutchison collects the loose ball. Davis Allen top of the crease. It's going to be Firewolves' ball as that went in. to the crease, that is. Kurtz down low for Simmons. Alex Simmons. It's a quick step to the net, sends it back up top. Ryan Benesh, the essence of calm out there with the ball on his stick. Scores! But it's waved off.
We'll see if they throw the flag. Curtis Conley's on the bench with the tablet. He's taking a quick look. And he'll let Coach Clark know if they should throw the flag. Clark's also looking up at the big board as well to see if he can get a look there first. You only have 30 seconds. A penalty on the play as well. Glenn Clark has the flag in his left hand. And Curtis Conley tells him to put it back in the pocket.
All right. Score remains 8-2. The shot from Simmons bounces out of play. He takes a chop from Armstrong afterwards as well. Dawson Theed finds Simmons. Ty Kurtz back to Theed. That bouncer is blocked. Corbeil gets in the lane. The rebound, however, collected by Ethan Walker. Simmons, Theed. Without a shoe is Ethan Walker. Big save, Deacon Knott.
Highlight reel stop from Knott sliding over and preventing a power play marker.
Theed for Kurtz. It's shoeless Ethan Walker in the corner looking for the ball, but it's picked up by Theed. Simmons fires that one, bounces wide of the net. Clark to Simmons. Walker behind the net. 5 seconds to shoot. Sent right up top. Simmons, his shot blocked. Dropped back the other way by Philadelphia.
Ethan Walker playing most of that shift without his right shoe. Referee had it in his hand, so nobody would trip over it, and Walker just kept going.
Brennan O'Neill holds on to it. He's challenged by Tchaikovsky and Masson up top. They know who the shooter is going to be. Now in the corner. Jackson trying to make a spin to get away. Swing move doesn't work out, now it's out of play.
That's a big reset for the Wings with just 34 seconds left to kill. First time the Wings have been shorthanded in this game.
Jackson plays it to the corner. Masson challenging O'Neill, works it near side. Jackson scores. A shorthanded marker, and it's 8-3. The Wings get back into this one a little bit.
That's a big one for Kyle Jackson against his former team. Silences the crowd at the TCC in the process. A 5-goal lead now is all that remains for the Firewolves, which isn't a ton of wiggle room in lacrosse. Nice shot from Jackson. The key was that reset, though. They gained possession, kept the ball, and there is the result on that extended possession after the reset.
No goals in his 3 games with the Firewolves this year, but Kyle Jackson having some success with the Wings. Simmons for Dawson Theed. Back up top, Dyson Williams. He launches one. Deacon Knott makes the stop. We're back to 5-on-5. Walker from the corner, both shoes on his feet. Finds Kurtz. Ty Kurtz, Dawson Theed in front. Came through in motion, had the shot, but stopped by Deacon Knott. Back up the floor, Patton. William Patton works it near side. Mitch Armstrong controlling, dishes it off. Fennell looks up top, there's a shot. They score. That one squeaked right through Doug Jamieson.
Dalton Young will get credit with that one, and similar shot, but just from a different space in the floor than what we saw from Kyle Jackson just moments ago. Bit of a side armor, able to get it past Jamieson. So 2 quick ones for the Wings. A nice spin move to get that ball out to Young. And you can see Doug Jamieson sliding over. Thinks he might have got a piece of it and then realizes It's behind him in the net.
Under the arm of Doug Jamieson, Dalton Young. Slow start to the season, but picking things up.
And coming off 2 hat-trick games, one against Georgia, one on Sunday against this Firewolves squad. And now he's got one here as the lead is cut in half, 8-4.
Kyle Jackson playing it to the wall. Brennan O'Neill. Back into the hands of the Firewolves. Still on the floor is Zach Masson. Jackson Fridge finds Ty Kurtz. Kurtz to Williams. Back near side, it's Simmons. Simmons steps in, works back out. Takes a peek around, clear to the net, scores! All Simmons all the way on that one.
The hat-trick goal for Alex Simmons to go along with 3 helpers as he gets one back for the Firewolves. He's surveying the situation, looking over to the far side, and then he beats one of the best defenders in Chris Corbeil, just takes off, dives to avoid the crease call, and lets it go as he's sailing through the air. The rest of the Firewolves kind of isolated him down there, let Simmons do his thing. And the one-on-one game was successful.
It is Wings ball off the draw. Shots on goal pretty close. It's 40 for Oshawa, 34 for the Wings. Joel Coyle looking near side, he finds Kyle Rubich. Flipped over to Ty Kurtz. Kurtz strides into the zone, flanked by Alex Simmons. Then looks back across the zone, it's Ethan Walker. Dawson feed now. Checked closely by Corbeil. Plays it back to the wall. Williams steps through with the shot that misses wide, doesn't reset the clock. Simmons just launched one that bounces out of play.
And he almost took out his own teammate.
9-4 here in the third quarter. Alex Simmons has been having an absolutely outstanding game so far. That's why the Firewolves are up 9-4 over the Wings here in the third quarter.
When you think about the Firewolves offense, names like Alex Simmons and Dyson Williams comes to mind, both NLL Rookie of the Year in their first year professional. And Dyson Williams just hit his 100th career point last Sunday against Philadelphia in his 31st game. And that is what Coach Clark says is right on track. But he describes a guy like Alex Simmons to be an anomaly. He hit 100 points in his 19th career game. That's huge for a guy in his sophomore campaign. When I talked to Dyson about how it feels to have 100 points, he says, oh, it's huge to have that under my belt. I have a great group of guys around me, and it's a milestone mark for sure.
Thank you, Parisa. It's a pretty twister shot there from Brennan O'Neill right after shaking off his defender. Firewolves coach Glenn Clark lumping in Ty Kurtz into that anomaly category as well. As the two of them combined for just a ton of points out there on the floor for the Firewolves. Dawson Feed now finds the aforementioned Ty Kurtz. Pass through the seam. Williams gets up. Tries to tuck that one home with one hand. Deacon Nutt shrugs the shoulders to make the stop. Fennell works it back up to the top of the zone. The Wings bringing it up top from down low. McDonald defending at the top of the crease, sends his man down to the floor. Jameson has to make a save still. Now is LeClaire working in tight. Simmons back the other way. Stutter step. Works back in, holds, and fires it back. Kurtz. Back through the seam, Dawson Feed. Walker sets the pick. Feed gets free, tucks it underhanded to Walker. Shot, that's blocked in front. Patton caught that one in the ear. He's heading off in some discomfort.
Those sting. Never expecting it, even if you are, it would still sting.
Patton going down the tunnel just to take his helmet off. Put his hand on his ear for a minute. Brennan O'Neill dishes, Nielsen scores! A squeaker beats Doug Jameson, and the Wings are back on the board.
2 goals for Nielsen. He got things started for the Wings to stop a run early on from the Firewolves. Picked up at the trade deadline, and he's making an impact right away. A laser from the outside. Bit of a screen, some traffic in front of Doug Jameson at the top. And what a shot from Nielsen.
No space to shoot at, just squeaked to the outside around the left leg. And that's something that can, well, Liam Patton in some pain right now on the bench. The shot blocked at one end, the goal at the other. And the Wings perhaps building some momentum here. Another chance in front, that pass errant, just missed the mark. LeClaire was heading through at the top of the crease. Joe Coyle hustles across center floor, then works off for a change. It's Ty Kurtz bringing it forward. Benesh at the top of the crease. Coming through from the other side was Dyson Williams. Quick pass off the stick of Taggart Clark. Now Simmons with a spin move, looks through. There's another move to the net, gets to the crease and works back to the outside. Behind the net, tries to jam it home, loses his lid, and the shot clock expires.
Equipment all over the place. There's a stick, a helmet. Wanted a penalty on that call. He's not going to get it, but good effort as Messenger was all over him.
Brought off the wall by O'Neill. Works back to near side. Jackson with one hand on his stick. It's going to be Oshawa ball back the other way. Zach Masson. East-west movement, gets across center floor. Williams to Walker. Walker with his head up all the way, flips it through for Ty Kurtz. That bounces down, Kurtz gets drilled down to the floor. Williams is gonna come through and stick up for Ty Kurtz. Taggart Clark mixing it up as well in behind the net. Kurtz still down on the floor, and Feed wants a piece. He's throwing right hands. Dawson Feed is letting it loose here. He grabbed onto Wagner, still wants him.
Feed still trying to get at Wagner. Wagner coming closer, but referee in between. Wagner just wants to get to the penalty box at this point. As Feed still having words. Firewolves did not like that hit on Kurtz, who's just getting back up slowly. Fans love that. As everybody came in.
It all starts in the corner.
And Kurtz jumps up. He's in a defenseless position, facing towards the boards and also in the air at the time. So double danger on that hit. And then no hesitation. Williams comes in first. Armstrong comes in, gets him out of the pile. That's where Theed came in and was able to get a hold of Wagner. And the boys are watching it up on the big screen. Clark and Theed in the penalty box as they're showing it in-house. So they're able to see how that all broke down. There's the Wings looking at the same replay.
The last time we saw something like this happen here at the TCC, Dawson Theed was on the other side for the Halifax Thunderbirds.
Yes, Andrew Kidd was in net. Doug Jamieson had left. He cramped up. And as a member of the Halifax Thunderbirds, who were trailing at the time, Dawson Theed ran over backup goalie Andrew Kidd, just ran right through the crease, took out Kidd, and that started a bit of a melee here. And then just a few days later, Glenn Clark pulled the trigger, and Dawson Theed was a member of the Oshawa Firewolves.
A little bit of a different response from Oshawa this time around as well. And I mentioned this already in the broadcast. We saw something similar in the fourth quarter in Philadelphia on Sunday. It was Brendan O'Neill taking the hit in that one. In a similar position as well to Ty Kurtz getting up for a ball. He got drilled down hard to the floor by Pat Kaschuk.
Referees are all in there. The notepad's out. They want to make sure, as everyone was looking at something different referee-wise. And we'll see what the official calls are. Just two aside in the penalty box at the moment. There's Theed and Clark.
The officiating crew tonight, the crew chief, Mark Gardonio, assistants, Lane Herdang and Josh Hiltz, and then the shot clock operator, Ryan Davies.
We'll see if anything develops when they get out of the box. Theed keeps looking over to his left. Wagner and Ben Cromer are in the box. Clark's leaving the box. And I think it's perhaps, thought maybe they were going to go look at the replay because they have to get in through that penalty box. Theed's out as well. And they're still discussing. There's Ian Rubel in the Wings. He glances up at the clock, sees a 9-5 lead now for the Firewolves.
We're looking ahead at an exciting fourth quarter here. Just 4 goals, and that's what the Oshawa Firewolves were able to put up on the board. I think we're going to be able to take another look at what happened here, starting with the hit on Ty Kurtz in the corner.
And the referees are ready to announce it as well.
Penalties on the play. Philadelphia, number 94, 5-minute major, 5-minute for fighting. Number 32, double roughing minor. For Oshawa, number 41, double roughing. 15, 2 for instigating, 5-minute fighting, game misconduct. The 5-minute major is under review.
You could hear how upset Theed was as he'll get the early shower, get some fist bumps from his teammates, and a big ovation.
So here's what Theed's going to the room for.
You see Theed gets his bucket off as well. And that's, you don't see that from a lot of guys. They'll take somebody's bucket off and keep their own on and see what happens within the fight. But Theed's not like that. One of the first things he does when he's about to get into a scrap, he'll take his lid off and toss it. I don't know if you can hear the crowd reacting, but they're seeing a replay again, specifically a close-up of Dawson Theed. Wagner wanted no part of him. And Kurtz is the one who soaked up that hit. You're going to react like that if any of your teammates gets hit in a vulnerable position the way he was, but especially if it's one of your top guys,
Earlier
like a Ty Kurtz.
the year as well, Ty Kurtz did something similar. Alex Simmons gets hit, and it's Ty Kurtz coming through.
Number 5 has been reduced to a 2-minute minor. Check from behind.
So it's reduced to a 2-minute. The initial hit is going from a 5 to a 2.
That surprises me a little bit because it was a pretty vulnerable position that Kurtz was in. He was facing the glass to get the rebound. He was in the air, jumping for the loose ball. And it'll be Wings ball as the dust settles.
A week away from spring, nothing warm going on here on Friday the 13th in Oshawa, Ontario. The Firewolves up 9-5 over the Philadelphia Wings. The second game of a home-and-home between these two teams. 13-12 on Sunday. The Firewolves took that one to break a losing streak that they were certainly feeling. And during the week, Scott, talking to Glenn Clark, he mentioned that it was just a relief for the group to break that. They're going to try and build off of it today. Just waiting to see what the clock is actually going to read, and counting the players on the floor, I believe it's going to be 5-on-5. So all that time and no penalty for either side. We're just right back to playing even strength lacrosse. Obviously, both teams wanted something else to come from that.
Yeah, you can see Corbeil trying to get an explanation as to why they're not on the man advantage. Ian Rubel with his hands up on the bench.
And it was Nick Chakowski in there having the chat as well, wearing an A. 3 A's for the Firewolves. Chakowski, Nishimura, and Walker. Their captain, Colton Watkinson, suffered an ankle injury on Sunday in Philly, walking around the arena in a boot today. Jackson sends it across the zone, gets it right back near side. Philly with some juice here in the offensive zone. There's a shot off a body that bounces wide. Nishimura, he can fly up the floor, does so. It only took him a few seconds. Time running out here in the third quarter. Benesh plays it to the corner. 10 on the shot clock, 18 in the corner. There's a shot from Kurtz. Loose ball picked up, Deacon Knott taking a look to the bench. I know it's going to be Firewolves ball. Doug Jameson heads over to the bench with 10 to go here. Extra runner on the floor for the Firewolves. Ethan Walker to Alex Simmons. Swim move, plays it behind the net, then off the hop. Takes another shot, but can't send it home. 9-5 here after 3 quarters. An exciting fourth quarter coming up. It's not for the Dogs, it's for the mascots tonight. Getting set for the fourth quarter, and the Philadelphia Wings got off to a great start here in the second half.
And they end up outscoring the Wolves 4-2 in that third quarter. Brennan O'Neill getting things going just 46 seconds into the second half. And then they would get a goal from the former Firewolf, Kyle Jackson. And another one from Dalton Young, and Lucas Nielsen would get the last one from them. A couple Firewolves goals in between. Ryan Benesh, his first as a Firewolves. Alex Simmons picking up the hat trick. Curtis Conley showing something to Coach Glenn Clark.
Just 4 goals separating these two teams. Scramble on the draw. It's up in the air, and Rubish steps through with it. Rubish works it back towards the bench, and he'll grab his change. Joel Coyle heads off. Full offensive unit out there. It's Benesh up top, collecting the pass from Ethan Walker. Benesh spins, bounces, scores. Ryan Benesh making it look easy on that one. Lets the game come to him. There's a 10 spot on the board for the Firewolves.
Ryan Benesh making a nice move. He's got 2 defenders on him. Gets a bounce shot off, which is hard to see if you're a goalie and there's no defenders in front of you. There was 2 in front of Deacon Knott. Ryan Benesh playing in his 298th game. Picks up his 590th career goal.
In his interview with Parisa earlier as well, just saying all the right things, wants to mesh in with this group. And how many jerseys did you say he's worn in his career, Scott?
He's been with 11 different teams, 9 different franchises.
Yeah. So he knows how to mesh in with a new group.
He certainly does, doing a good job in his debut.
Simmons to Williams. Sends a pass through. Ty Kurtz trying to settle it down, loose on the floor. Shot clock was going to expire anyways. Davis Allen. Back for Fennell. Ball in the corner. Brought up top. Shot off a body. And loose in behind. Jackson Fridge hustles up the floor. Flips it through. Kurtz bounces one wide. Up in the air. Fridge just casually collects the ball and works it over to Alex Simmons. An injury in the crease now. It's Patton down. He's having a tough night.
The trainer coming out right away to take a look. We'll go back to Ryan Benesh for a second. We mentioned it's his 19th season, 298th game. Those 298 games, mind you, is 4th most all-time in games played, and there's a look.
Is that another block shot for Patton?
No, looked like he
he's on the left there. I see.
Got caught up with his teammate as they collided. But yeah, Ryan Benesh, 4th most in games played, 5th most all-time in career goals, 7th all-time in assists with 797. And we mentioned he passed Colin Doyle for 4th all-time on the points list. 1,387 points he has now. Colin Doyle, the man who he was traded for before he even started his career. Ryan Benesh drafted 1st overall by the San Jose Stealth back in 2006, and just before the 2007 season, he was traded for Colin Doyle.
And now Patton getting up to his feet. We saw Ian Rubel, Pat McCready, and Tracy Koluski taking a peek at a tablet. And Patton, who blocked that shot earlier, which was followed up with a goal from Kyle Jackson, now being helped off the floor.
Firewolves will retain possession. So they'll hang on to it. And Patton is going right down the tunnel. They thought about putting him on the bench for a second. And he'll go right off to the tunnel. We'll see how long he's out for.
Oshawa working it around the outside. Dyson Williams brings it up top. Simmons to the corner for Kurtz. Back for Dyson Williams. That's blocked in front. Out of play off of a Wings player. That one off of Alex Pace. He's going to argue against getting that stat for a block shot. Williams to Benesh. From the elbow, plays it to the corner. Williams looking for that pass, just sends it up. Walker off the post. What a stick from Benesh to pull that one out of midair. Reset of the shot clock for Oshawa. Happy to let the clock run here, up 5. Keeping it to the outside, waiting to strike. It's Dyson Williams. Playing it over for Alex Simmons. Simmons slams on the brakes, looks up top, underhand shot. Williams, stick side save from Deacon Knott, now brought up the floor by the Wings. Pace to Hutchison, side of the net, back to Hutchison, twister, stopped by Jamieson. Quick up the floor, intercepted. Brought back the other way by Philadelphia. Davis Allen calling a man back up to him at center floor. Works it near side to Young. Coming out of the corner there was Sam LeClaire. His shot misses wide. Back on the stick of LeClaire. He takes a shot, stopped by Jamieson. Nishimura up the floor. He's got Masson with him. Nishimura holds and elects not to shoot. Eats up some time and finds Alex Simmons. Ty Kurtz now. Finds Ethan Walker. Dyson Williams battling in front, getting into the middle. Simmons now. Flips it over his shoulder, trips up. Takes a look down at the turf. Simmons now looking a little bit labored as he heads off the floor. Here's Hutchison with it for the Wings. Plays it into the corner. Philadelphia looking to put their foot on the gas. It's Travis Longboat applying pressure, takes the shot, stopped by Jamieson. He gets out with the left leg, then resets. Fennell, near side for Longboat. Played down low, it's Nielsen. Whips one just wide, it bounces back to the Philly bench. Still with 15 on the shot clock, they play it near side to Longboat. Longboat, stutter step, fires, that misses wide. Kyle Rubish is there to pick it up off the wall. Rubish now taking it across center. He's got Will Johansson. Ethan Walker takes a peek back towards his own bench. Fires a pass that way, it's Ryan Benesh. Down into the corner, it's back near side now. Walker works into traffic, fires one, stopped by Knott. Deacon Knott steps out of his crease. He's got 5 seconds, gets it up, and Davis Allen is able to get across center just in time. Kyle Jackson back towards his own bench, then works to the far side corner as Longboat dishes to LeClaire. He brings it up top, back to the wall. Pass across the seam, Longboat can't settle it down. Masson without a stick protecting the ball. Plays a little bit of soccer and kicks it back into the corner. A 5-goal lead for the Oshawa Firewolves. The fans here at the Tribute Community Center, despite the storm, are loving it. More fourth quarter action coming up next.
The march to May is heating up. Whether you're at home or out on the town, it all starts here.
No, he didn't!
Warriors. Bandits.
Oh, what a move!
The NLL returns to TSN in Week 19.
NLL's March to May is brought to you by Hotel Planner. Travel smarter with exclusive NLL fan discounts at nll.hotelplanner.com. And by StubHub, your home for tickets to the speed and intensity of the NLL. Back here at the Tribute Community Center.
Two guys that are on the floor right now, Ryan Benesh and Dyson Williams. Benesh used to play with Williams' father, Sean Williams. 2014, they played 22 games together with the Buffalo Bandits when Benesh was just 28, 29 years old. Williams assisted on 7 Benesh goals. Benesh assisted on 4 Williams goals.
There's a Rubish assist on Ty Kurtz. A crazy connection though, Scott, in the lacrosse world as the Firewolves get back out to a 6-goal lead.
And with that goal, Ty Kurtz has 100 in his career. Another milestone reached for another Firewolf. And you can see Simmons going full speed towards, and then the dish down to the side. Oh no, Simmons at the side of the net.
Oh yes, okay.
Who ends up with the Barry. 100 goals will have to wait for a moment.
He'll get there.
He certainly will, but Simmons now 4 goals, 3 assists.
And of course, Sean Williams coaching in Las Vegas, but an incredible connection. I'm sure there are a lot of them out there, especially when a guy's been around the game for as long as he has been. Like Ryan Benesh, those 11 jerseys he's worn, as you mentioned, Scott.
Yeah, and those two, Sean Williams and Benesh, they assisted on 15 of their teammates' goals during that time as well, where they both had assists, 8 of them on Joe Rezaterit's goals. And that's
goes
from
deeper.
NLL Stats. Graham Perro, who puts all that together, does a great job with that website.
There's Ethan Walker. The ball has some grease on it, it seems, as nobody can pick it up in the wing zone. Now Patton gets ahead to Corbeil. Young. Dalton Young steps into the middle of the floor. Back to the corner, LeClaire. Former Brock Badger. The Canadian University Field Lacrosse Association sends it across the floor. Back up top, Travis Longboat. His shot stopped by Jamieson. No rebound to speak of. So he gets right on top of it. Doug Jamieson has faced 41 shots on goal so far. His performance certainly breathing life into the Firewolves offense. There's Simmons shooting around a defender, and I don't think that Knott saw that one coming until the last moment. Still able to make the save, excellent positioning. Another 30 seconds with the Firewolves on the hunt. Taggart Clark gets it started. Alex Simmons from the corner. Near side, Dyson Williams sends it across. Underhand shot. Knott makes the stop on Ty Kurtz. Messenger for Patton. Patton looking good after going down with what seemed like an ankle injury. Nielsen, the youngest player on this wing squad, fires it just wide of the net. Benesh whips a shot on net, that's stopped. Benesh looking for the debut hat-trick. Now Pace looks across the zone. Rubish gets his stick in the lane again. Masson, the dual sport athlete, played NCAA hockey in Alaska. Heads off to the bench after dishing it to the corner. Behind the back pass, that gets through to Ty Kurtz, but he can't get a shot off. The Wings running out of time here. Patton works it back towards his bench. It's Longboat now in the corner. Checked closely by Nishimura. They switch off. Fridge gets out top. Now Fennell to Nielsen. His shot stopped by Jamieson, looking sharp once again as he sends it up the floor. Pat Kascha. Kashchuk looking towards his bench, bounces it across. Ty Kurtz finds Ryan Benesh near side. Benesh right through the seam for Simmons in the corner. Back to Benesh. Shot stopped by Deacon Knott. Knott waits for the official to let him know he's good to move along and then sends it up the floor. Fennell to LeClaire. LeClaire to the corner. The Wings getting close. Young tries to sneak one far side around Doug Jamieson on the hop. Now Rubish gets across, flips it to Taggart Clark. Taggart Clark on hat-trick watch as well as Ty Kurtz darts through the seam, gets the stick on the ball but can't control it. Hutcherson quick up the floor, finds Fennell. Fennell back up top, Nielsen. Works it across the zone. Kyle Jackson finds Fennell in the corner. Nielsen, quick stick, stopped by Jamieson as he darts across the crease. Battle for it now. Will Johansson tiptoes around the crease, heads up the floor and connects with Jackson Nishimura. Dyson Williams now standing still with the ball, plays it up top. Kurtz to Simmons in the corner. Walker behind the net, Williams up top. Williams behind the backwards pass, looking for Benesh on the backhand. Now Simmons challenged at center floor, somehow keeps it in, gets run over. Benesh is gonna have a word with Corbeil. Mike Byrne didn't like that very much either.
I believe there will be a penalty on the play, but things are not done as everybody comes in towards center, and the Firewolves look to be going on the power play. Wagner will get out of the box with that whistle as well, that stoppage. I wasn't sure if he was able to get out or not. He did a little lap, but Byrne in the box too, along with Corbeil.
Number 16, 5 minutes. Oshawa, number 27, 2 minutes.
So they're going to review the 5. So they'll grab the tablet.
We'll break down the penalties on the other side. Alex Simmons keeps things moving for the Firewolves, has just drawn a penalty as well. 11-5 the score. .4:10 to play here in the fourth quarter, and Oshawa 11-5 the score as the Firewolves lead the Wings. We're going to send it down for the penalty call now.
5-minute major has been reduced to a 2-minute illegal cross check, 2-minute rough, 4-on-4.
So after review, the 5 goes down to a 2. And you can see Glenn Clark's reaction as he's trying to get a replay up on the big screen. And Corbeil and Byrne will be in the box, so 2 minutes aside. Firewolves looking for an explanation. Ryan Benesh, who was right there, he had a front row seat for it all. He's trying to plead the Firewolves case. or at least get an explanation that he can take back to the bench. He's still looking towards Josh Hiltz to get some more.
Be some extra room on the floor here for a couple of minutes with 4:10 to play.
So when they look at those reviews, they look at intent and they also look at the severity. And you can either reduce it, keep it as a 5, or wipe it. This time went down to a 2.
It's Travis Longboat sending it across the zone. He connects with Brennan O'Neill. O'Neill checked by Rubish. Kyle Rubish on top of O'Neill. Gets a step, tries to tuck it low. Stopped by Jamieson, sent back up the floor. Patrick Kaschuk flips the ball to Dyson Williams. Williams at the restraining line, just zips it across the floor where it's brought off the wall by Ty Kurtz. Kurtz looking across for Simmons, can't settle the ball down. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Simmons behind the net. Spins around out front. That one caught, not off guard. Good reset there for Oshawa. And Williams playing hockey with the ball on the floor. Drags it around the defender. Still loose down low, and now it's going to bounce into the crease. Deaconot will just, that's going to go in and out. It's going to remain Firewolves ball.
It's a big reset, and that'll allow them to get Rubish off. And Kurtz will go out the front gate. Lots of space out there, 4-on-4 for another 45 seconds.
Benesh up top. Got Dyson Williams near side. Williams awaiting Kurtz to open things up. Tries to sneak a shot in on Knott. Now it's loose at the side of the crease. The battle for the ball. Williams comes up with it in the zone solo. Williams gets a shot off that's stopped by Knott. Davis Allen plays it ahead. Young with it now. From the corner. Just drives right into Kaschuk. There's a shot stopped by Jameson. Rebound coming all the way out to center. Jackson chopped down to the floor. He's on top of the ball. And now Kyle Jackson in some discomfort after having a run-in with Zach Masson right in front of the Philadelphia Wings bench.
It's another Philadelphia Wings player down, and this time right in front of the bench, so everybody was able to get a look at that, and we'll take a look as well. Training staff has been busy. Jackson looks behind him. He sees Masson is coming, goes to brace himself.
Charlie Horse, it looked like, the knee to the leg. And the injury report for Philadelphia is the largest of the weekly release from the National Lacrosse League. 8 players listed today. 2 of those players that were listed playing today, but listed as questionable.
You can see Ian Rubel's reaction. He can't believe there wasn't a call on that one. And then he's also pointing to the box, I believe, saying that he didn't believe Corbeil, who's now out of the box, should have had that one. I can only assume that's what was said, just the way his actions were looking.
It is back to 5-on-5 now as Kurtz fires a shot. You can see the awareness from Knott there. Heard the ball bounce off the glass, ducked down so that didn't go off his back. Down at the other end, Columbus, his shot off and back goes out of play. It'll remain Wings ball. Really solid closeout quarter from the Oshawa Firewolves, as the play hasn't been in their end very much this quarter. Leclerc to the corner. Swim move to the net. Young scores. Makes it 11-6 with 1:23 to go.
Dalton Young, second of the game, and talking to the coaches at shoot-around, Ian Rubel saying he's hard to check, he's difficult to move, he runs really good patterns on offense. and he can get open at times where you think the defense has him completely covered, and you can see the swim move to create some space for himself, and his teammates just letting him do his thing, giving him some space, let him go to work. The dunk option was available behind the net if he wanted to pass last second, but as soon as that swim move was executed, he knew he had a lane.
Minute 23 to play here in the fourth quarter. Good battle on the draws. Nobody's letting off the gas here tonight. Will Johansson drives, bounces, that's stopped by Knott. Cross center, Patton looks back near side, Nielsen. Lucas Nielsen fires it across the floor inside the final minute. Brennan O'Neill sheds a defender, bounces a shot wide, that's out of play. Nice play by the fan in the stands, and he dishes it to a youngster as well.
Got a little standing ovation from his section there. One-handed grab.
Simmons looks up top for Kurtz. Taggart Clark. Back across for Simmons. Simmons moves in, brings the ball back to the corner. 5 on the shot clock. Hesitates, sends it through, just bounced into the corner with 21.3 to play. Here's Fennell. Final possession of the game here for the Wings. Young to the corner, Nielsen brings it up top. Masson sticking to him, still chopping away, back up top. Young with the shot, Jamison with the stop. The best defensive effort of the season for the Oshawa Firewolves as they limit the Philadelphia Wings to just 6 goals in this one. They got off to a great start. 4-goal run to open the game, started by Taggart Clark, then held on, kept on the pressure, and closed things out in the fourth quarter.
This is a team that won their season opener, then lost 4 in a row, managed to get another win, lose 6 in a row, and then now they've won their last 2, both against the Wings, but at least they've got some momentum now, bit of confidence, and they'll have a nice home stretch to close out the season. Just one more game on the road, and a big character win. Dougie Jamison, the last 2 games has been stellar between the pipes.
Let's take a look at the 3 stars from tonight's contest.
Yeah, there was so much offense being produced on the Firewolves side, but the 3 stars, Ty Kurtz, a goal, 5 assists, 11 shots on net. He's got 99 career goals. Ryan Benesh in the middle, 6 points in his debut, and then a 7-point night, 4 goals was Alex Simmons.
Yeah, really impressive nights from all those guys, and just, I guess, good awareness all over the floor from the Oshawa Firewolves. The Wings, a team that is just really beat up at this stage in the season. They just moved on from a trio of quality players. Joe Rezateras going over to Buffalo. Both these teams looking to the future, but a big win nonetheless for the Oshawa Firewolves. As we see them heading off the floor, high-fiving the crowd here in good spirits. And in Oshawa, Durham region, a ton of snow came down out of nowhere a week away from spring. But still, the Oshawa faithful are out here. Will now be looking down to Parisa Shabar with Alex Simmons momentarily. Alex Simmons, always a great interview, a ton of character, and a guy who's had a great start to his NLL career. Scott mixing it up as well, but now we'll join Parisa and Alex Simmons.
Alex, after a win draw, this team is now back in the win column in back-to-back games. What does that mean for this group, and how are you guys going to carry this momentum in the final stretch of this season?
Just shows that we still got fight in this group. We're not going to give up. The season obviously isn't where we want it to be, but we have to build off of these positive moments. this is a great win in front of a great crowd. That was why we came out here. This is why we want to win. And we're just trying to stack these wins as the season goes on.
This Wings group tonight is different than the Wings group you guys played last week. So what worked for you tonight, and what does it mean to have another win back-to-back?
Yeah, I mean, we knew that they had a young group out front, so it was just trying to take care of that and take advantage of that. And offensively, we just did what we did last week. So it was just moving the ball, swinging it. Everyone ate this weekend, which is great, and great to have Benny in our group. 4th all-time points. That's no small feat. So we're just happy to have him, and we want to congratulate him.
All right, Alex. Once again, thank you for this.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Parisa. Thank you, Alex. And some good vibes from the Oshawa Firewolves as they take this one. Back-to-back wins against the Philadelphia Wings. They take this one home 11-6. Their best defensive effort of the season. For Scott Arnold and Parisa Shabar, I'm Dan Malta. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time.